Thank you very much for taking the time and joining us. Great pleasure, as always, to speak to you on the broadcast. We turn now to the Middle East for our next story. And an Israeli airstrike has hit a building in Khan Younis in southern Gaza, as it is a fresh blow to the 4-month-old ceasefire. The Israeli Defense Forces has announced that it carried out a precise strike in Gaza in response to the shots fired at its soldiers near the Yellow Line in northern Gaza. The strikes come after Israel reopened the Rafah crossings with Egypt, a big step envisaged by the US-backed Truce deal. Meanwhile, a Palestinian has responded. Let's listen in to what they had to say.
خلال يعني نص ساعة اخلوا الدار وخلوها وقصفوها زي ما انت شايف. طارق بالمدرسة فيها نازحين. بالدار مدرسة فيها نازحين ومدرسة كله أخلى كل المربع وضربوا الدار هنا. وبعوض الله. الحمد لله على كل حال.
قديش الدار هي كم طابق؟ قديش فيها سكان؟
مكونة من 4 طوابق. وفيها يمكن 5 شقق.
Dr. Satoru Nagao joins us now, a fellow at the Hudson Institute. He joins us live from Tokyo to discuss the ongoing situation inside the enclave in a bit more detail. Israel here, once again, saying it strikes Hamas infrastructure inside the Gaza Strip, despite, of course, the 4-month ceasefire. Palestinians on the ground so far are reporting heavy casualties. Of course, we don't have any number yet, but of course we'll bring that as soon as we get it. How credible are these claims by Israel, given their previous actions, of course, after the ceasefire, which has now killed over 500 Palestinians inside the Gaza Strip?
In this case, official statement is one thing, but real opinion is another thing. Real opinion is indeed related to the perception of the phase 2 of the ceasefire. In the phase 2, the Hamas need to disarm, need to be disarmed, and in this case, international forces will be deployed in this area instead. And instead of Hamas, they control the Gaza, and that is the process. But view from the reality, will Hamas agree the disarm? That is indeed doubtful situation. Because without military, Hamas is nothing. So that's why if Israel believe Hamas will not agree the disarming process in the phase 2, then if Israel will not attack during the ceasefire, in this case, Hamas will get the time to reorganize their military organization, and they will plan the second attack against Israel. So that's why view from Israel during the ceasefire period, still if they find something very important target, in this case they continue to assassinate and eliminate it. Without this, Hamas will recover their military power against Israel. That is what their perception in this case, I believe.
And Dr. Nagao, of course, as I've said, 500 Palestinians have been killed following this ceasefire. We're now seeing the open of key corridors, including the Rafah crossing with Egypt. What's your overall assessment on how the ceasefire has gone? Now we're 4 months in.
In this case, a little bit controversial is the number of the collateral damage, because it is not easy to distinguish Hamas or not, because view from the calculation, both can claim the civilian, because Hamas is a terrorist organization. So that's why, and they are hiding inside of the people as a guerrilla tactics. So that's why the 500, including some certain number of the collateral damage, is true. But how many Hamas or how many Hamas supporters included is indeed it is not clear. And so that's why the 500 number itself is symbolic, but at the same time reality, indeed no one knows that. And opening the Rafah is a process to reconcile. That is true, because without maintaining ceasefire, it will affect U.S.-Israel relations. So that's why the Israel side, anyway, the political solution is needed in the future. That is true, but anyway, the maintaining the situation is beneficial for both. Certain period of benefit, that is true, and so that's why they try to maintain ceasefire. But at the same time, as a reality, they continue to kill when they find a very important target who can plan the next attack against Israel.
There have, of course, been violations on both sides when it comes to this ceasefire. However, Israel continues to not let international journalists and many other organizations inside the Gaza Strip in order to check these claims that it is making. How credible are the Israeli government statements when it comes to not just this attack, the previous attacks that have happened inside the enclave, which have killed multiple Palestinians, that Israel is calling Hamas operatives amongst other terrorist organizations?
Yeah, this is also a controversial point. To persuade the international community, Israel should accept international journalists. That is true. But at the same time, if the international journalists enter Gaza, they could be the hostage of the Hamas, because if they stand and taking an interview with the Hamas official or something like that, Israel cannot kill that Hamas official during the interview. If they killed, journalists also killed. So that's why this is war zone, and accepting or allowing international journalists is a little bit borderline, very controversial. Is this beneficial or not? Very controversial, I think. So that's why the Israel's choice is not enter. But in this case, the view from the third parties, so view from the international communities, Israel try to hide something, it looks like, and this is not a persuasive situation. So many countries blame Israel. So this is Israel's decision which one is beneficial for Israel. But this is a war zone, that is true, and it could be the hostage, that is also true. So which one, maybe they need to calculate, and the final decision is like that, I think.
Dr. Nagel, do stay with us as we turn over to the Caribbean for our next story. The US military says it has carried out a strike on a suspected drug trafficking vessel in the Eastern Pacific.